podcast after this.
Before you spend your time and money going after an MBA, ask yourself why. Is it so you can tell people you got your MBA? So you can add a line to your CV? So you can call it a CV instead of a resume? Truth is, any MBA will do that. On the other hand, if your goal is to learn how to successfully manage and grow a business with real-world insights from experienced professionals, well, consider getting your MBA from Park University. Our low student-to-teacher ratio gives you personalized attention, and our face-to-face and online classes offered in 8-week terms are designed with working professionals like you in mind. No wonder the Kansas City Business Journal ranks Park University as the top MBA program in the area. Classes begin June 10th at all 4 KC area locations: Parkville, Downtown, Independence, and Lenexa. Visit park.edu to get started.
I was duped, and I recommend you be next. For better or worse, the ultra-realistic impression of me sits now in my wife's office to spook her on a daily basis. So what is Doob? D-O-O-B. It's the keepsake of a lifetime, a 3D-generated, incredibly lifelike figurine. 66 cameras take an image at exactly the same moment in any pose, and state-of-the-art 3D technology transforms that into exact replicas of you, anyone you know or love, a pet, whomever is close to your heart. Create lifetime memories with a Doob. Visit their Facebook page at Doob 3D Kansas City, or better yet, see their incredible creations. Visit their location down on the plaza in the heart of it at 231 West 47th Street in KC Mo. Doob, be next.
For many people, a family law case will be one of the most difficult experiences in their life. The law firm of Kenneth McRae will help you through it. Personal and effective help from Ken in concert with you will develop a unique strategy for your unique case. As Ken always says, divorce can be civil law, not civil war. Licensed in Kansas? Visit McRaeLawOffice.com or call 913-972-4765.
Looking for a truly unique escape from your normal entertainment or corporate team-building regimen? Stay tuned for an exclusive offer only for reasonably irreverent listeners. I'm excited to tell you about an extraordinary destination, the Exit Room, located in the heart of beautiful downtown Lee Summit. The Exit Room is a distinctive entertainment option that offers a cool alternative to the normal couples night out, family get-togethers, and corporate team-building events. The Exit Room is a one-of-a-kind boutique escape room catering to special occasions and corporate team-building events and is unmatched in the Kansas City metro. With 5 individually designed and varied escape room adventures, your party or employees can unplug from their electronic world, interact with one another, match wits, and ultimately escape the humdrum of the ordinary. The Exit Room adventures cross decades and centuries and create fascinating fun. I know the owners well. They are local folks, their staff is warm and friendly, their lobby is inviting and beautiful, and their adventures are award-winning. Check online. There are over 1,000 reviews, and note that they are a rare 5-star ranked business. Visit their website and Facebook page, and any of my listeners who books online at theexitroomkc.com using the promo code Clinkscale19 gets 10% off any ticket purchase. The Exit Room in Lee Summit. Unplug, interact, and escape. Won 20 games a couple of years and a good postseason success as well, and a couple of a great World Series win in 1980. But first of all, the Royals were climbing the mountain at that point in time, and you had those disappointing series against the Yankees. How difficult was that to be such a good team that won so many games and then get knocked off the perch by the Yankees just a couple of times?
Well, the first time we got there, in '76, it was just exciting to get there. We didn't know, and we kind of sort of backed into winning that game, because we lost. We came home from playing Oakland, and I think Oakland had to go to Anaheim, and we came home and played Minnesota. And Oakland, I think they lost a couple of games to Anaheim, and we lost a couple of games to Minnesota, so we kept our lead, a very slim lead that year. And just to get to the playoffs, I think postseason, no matter what team you're on, it's always a goal when you leave spring training. We want to get number one in postseason. And then the obvious goal is to play in the World Series. So for us, it was all new. But what it did teach us is kind of how to win and what we had to do to win. And then the team we had in '77, by far, that was the best team I ever played on. I think we won 103 games, and when we lost to the Yankees, if people remember back then, it was always so disappointing in the bottom of the ninth. And, that one game that I came in, I pitched a complete game and got a win, and I came in a day later in relief, and they got, a blue pit and a walk, and I got taken out, and then we wound up losing that in the fifth game. So there was a lot of close games, but disappointing, very disappointing. But the only thing is, what are you going to do? Bury your head, and you just got to think ahead. Okay, let's get them next year. But growing up in New York and being a Yankee fan, I learned to hate them guys really bad. And when you looked at rivalries, we had a really fierce rivalry with the Yankees. And the only thing that made my career complete is finally, in 1980, we swept the Yankees. So, if I went my whole career, they beat us 4 times when I was playing. That would have been a really disappointing. At least I can say we beat them once. And, I can probably say I started the first game in Royals history, in a World Series. So, all that part was exciting.
Yeah, absolutely. A 2-time 20-game winner and 3-time 20-game winner. Wrong. I thought I just did. There it says 20 twice. I'm glad you're here.
I know.
Yeah, I did my own. You said you couldn't remember anything, and then the first time I make a half a slip-up, you're all over me.
That's right.
There you go. I deserved it. I absolutely deserved it. And you win 144 games. And when the Royals finally did win the World Series, you actually were on. You pitched 2 games that year, but you were hurt. But it still must have been fun watching the team win the series, even although you didn't have the opportunity to take part in it.
Well, definitely. Unfortunately for me, in '83, I blew out my knee, and lo and behold, I didn't think it was going to be a 3-year ordeal before I was able to pitch again. But it was. You can't change all that stuff. And I was pulling for the guys in '85, and they put me in a couple of games at the very end of the year, like a mop-up inning twice. And, just to get me back on the field. And I knew, obviously, I wasn't going to be on that roster. And, I was there the first 2 games and, in Kansas City when we lost to the Cardinals. And, the Royals said, well, you're going to go to St. Louis with us. And I said, you know what, I got to go to Florida. I got to play in the instruction league a little bit. I got to do something to try to get back to play in '86. So I actually did not go with them to St. Louis. And when they finally won that World Series, I was at a place called the Philippi Creek Oyster Bar in Sarasota, Florida, eating oysters and drinking beer. Going that away, boys.
You've always seemed to be somebody, your career was derailed at the end by injuries, but it was such a great career, a Royals Hall of Fame career. But you seem to be somebody who really did adjust pretty well to getting away from baseball, maybe better than some. Was that the case, or did you have a period where it was difficult to get away from the game?
I think it's difficult, but, missing those 3 years, when I first, that's what kind of broke me in when it was the final act, so to speak. And the first year when I got hurt, it was almost like at 2:30, 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Somebody was pulling me out the door to get to the ballpark. And, after that, I knew I couldn't go, and I kind of got used to, okay, we want to eat at 6 o'clock. Let's throw some steaks on the grill and, right. Barbecue and have a pool in the backyard. Hey, the kids go swimming. And I got kind of used to it. But, the subsequent operations, I had those 4 operations, and I'm glad they didn't tell me, but I think they thought there's no way he's going to come back after this. And, I said, I'm going to do it. And when I finally did, do it, I said, man, this is kind of cool. I'm back in, but realistically, I'm looking at it. The Royals held a 2-year option on my contract. That was the first time ever in the big leagues I had a losing record. I think I was 8-13 that year. Mm-hmm. But also when you look at the staff that they had, and that was upcoming. Right. You had Saberhagen, you had Gubazar, you had Jackson, you had Leibrandt, and I was one of those guys, early on when we had Nellie Bryles and Joe Horner, and so I saw how I took somebody else's place. And, I seen players come and go. So I knew it was about time, and the Royals didn't pick up that. And if I'd known then what I know now, I would have signed for what they wanted and could have made a lot of money. That was the year of the collusion.
There you go. But you did play your entire career for one team, and that must be something a little special.
Well, definitely. There's not too many people who do that now. How everybody – we didn't have the free agency, like they have it now. Matter of fact, arbitration, everything these players have now, they got to remember we're the ones that kind of bit the bullet, and everybody hated us for going on strike and doing this and doing that. But, to have that opportunity to play here in Kansas City meant 2 things, that the Royals wanted me and I was still doing pretty good when I was here. And for the longest time, I was trying to think, and I said, going through my mind of players that maybe played more than 2 years, 3 years here, how many actually signed with the Royals and played with the Royals? And the more I thought about it, I said, well, I'm one, obviously. George is 2. Mm-hmm. Frank White is 3. Mm-hmm. Split off with 4. Who's the 5th?
Maybe no one.
Who?
Maybe no one.
No, there's a 5th.
Fitzmaurice?
No.
Oh, yeah, he came from somewhere else.
Come on.
Oh, doing trivia. Silence is not good on a podcast.
Okay. John Wathen.
Wathen, there you go. John Wathen. We love trivia here at the Exit Room.
And
These guys are all trivia buffs.
But it looks like there might be another one here soon, depending on what Alex does, this coming year. I mean, but there's been a long time. There's not a lot of players that, go. Even the ones that, like Gubicza was here forever, but then he went and played for the Angels for a year. And there was a lot of guys that might have just left the Royals and played that 1 year or 2 years outside the organization, but there's not very many now that signed with them, played with them, and retired with them.
Speaking of retirement, I know from hearing you before you don't play golf. So what do you like to do in your retirement?
Well, I was blessed with 4 grandchildren, and we're on the last one as far as babysitting. He's 5, Jack. So next year he's going to start kindergarten. So that'll be the first time in 12 years that we don't have a grandchild at least twice a week at the house. So that's going to be, I don't know what we're going to do then. But normally, I like to fish. I like to hunt. I don't hunt as much because the bird population went way down. I mean, the weather here isn't exactly too conducive to fishing lately either, with the water, the flooding, and a lot of the different lakes. But I'm going to give it a try once the weather stabilizes and the water goes down. I like to get out there and catch some crappie.
Well, between fishing trips, it was great to have you out, and we really appreciate you doing this tonight.
Danny, it's my pleasure. Thanks to everybody.
Royals Hall of Famer Dennis Leonard joining us right now.
This podcast was made possible by our great sponsors like Easton Roofing, the presenting sponsor of Kansas City Profiles at the Danny Klingscale Reasonably Irreverent podcast. Easton Roofing, where integrity matters. We hope you enjoyed the latest Danny Klingscale Reasonably Irreverent podcast. Come back soon for something fresh and new.